So TypeScript's type system is super powerful, but one of the major annoyances that I have to deal with oftentimes is that I cannot get meaningful type hints in my text editor when I'm working with complex types. To show you what I mean by that, I have this little type alias declaration here that I extracted from parseArgs function from nodeutil module. Now, if I want to see how it looks like, I should be able to hover my cursor over the type identifier and see the type hint, except that it doesn't really show me anything useful. So I should hold Control or Command and click on parseArgs and dig deeper. Now, I notice that T is extending parseArgsConfig, and config is of type T, so I need to dig deeper. So here I notice that options is of type parseArgsOptionsConfig. So let's go one level deeper and one level deeper. So that's quite a rabbit hole. A little trick that you can use to make life easier for yourself and probably your library users is to define a utility type to expand these. Let's look at an example. So I got this expand type from one of the test cases of TypeScript compiler. And I tweaked it a little bit, but let's not focus on how it's defined and focus on its use case. So here you can pass any type as a type argument to expand, and then it expands it for you. That means it turns that into a self-contained and more readable type that you can use. And this is good enough in many cases, but the downside of this approach is that this expansion or computation, if you will, happens in your editor while you're writing the code. And when you have super huge types, especially in cases when you are generating code, this can slow down the editor. Besides, sometimes I just want to constantly see one of these expanded types or copy them to somewhere else. And doing that from the the overlay tooltip in the text editor is not very convenient. So to solve this problem, I created a small package that uses the TypeScript compiler API to expand a type expression and return the output as a string. You can use it programmatically, like a library that you import a function from and use that function. I'll post a link to the repository for more information about that. Or you can use its CLI for when you want to quickly expand a type. Let's look at an example. So here I have demo1.ts, and let's say I'm interested in expanding this type. So that would be my type expression. So I can install the package or run it with npx and type expand my type, pass in the path to my TypeScript file, and then the expression, which is this type identifier. Now, if I run this command, it shows me the expanded type in the terminal. You can combine this command with a file watcher. So here I'm running this with nodemon, so I'm watching the changes in demo1.ts and running this command, which clears the screen and then runs expand my type with the same arguments. So now if I add a new field like this and save, well, it shows the new expanded type. So another tool that I sometimes use with this, especially when I'm working with huge types and need to scroll through the output and change things here and there and see what happens, is viddy. Viddy, in a nutshell, is the combination of less and watch commands. So it runs a command for you in innerRouse, and you can scroll through the output and see the changes as they happen. And it has this nice little feature that highlights the changes as they happen. So as you can see, after I run the command, it shows a similar output to the nodemon example. But now let's say I want to add a new field to my type. As soon as I save the file, you can notice that there's a new line added, and it was highlighted for a few seconds. And it can be useful when you're working with huge types. So these are 3 ways of using expand my type CLI. If you want to learn more or look into the code, I'll post a link to the repository. If you like this video and the tool, please consider giving the repository a star and sharing it with others who might find it interesting. Thanks.